I want to open the show by talking about an organization that I truly, truly do admire in the National Football League. That organization is the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Kansas City Chiefs just recently acquired offensive tackle Orlando Brown from the Baltimore Ravens. They gave up a bunch of picks to acquire him. It pretty much solidifies their offensive line. Mitchell Schwartz, did walk away from the NFL this past offseason. We saw Kansas City's offensive line struggle in the postseason. We all know how bad they looked versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense in the Super Bowl. That was a big reason why Kansas City ultimately lost that game. And now they totally retooled this offensive line. They've acquired Orlando Brown. They bring in Joe Thuney, and they've really shored up what was their biggest weakness and biggest concern heading into this upcoming season. And now Kansas City, they're locked and loaded and ready to go on potentially another Super Bowl run. We'll see what Baltimore does with those draft picks. I don't really have too much of a take on what Baltimore acquired, but all I gotta say is I truly admire aggressive teams in the National Football League, because aggressive teams, those are the teams that are winning. Tampa Bay, they went all in this past year to acquire Tom Brady. They went all in to get the players they needed. They won a Super Bowl in Tom Brady's first season in Tampa Bay, and we see in other sports, other teams that are super aggressive, they're winning immediately. Kevin Durant goes to the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are aggressive. They win a title immediately. Mookie Betts to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They win a title immediately. And I just truly admire that the Kansas City Chiefs, they're all about going for it. They're all about trying to absolutely do the best they can to put the best players on the field so they can win a Super Bowl right here, right now, and they'll figure out the draft picks and the salary cap later on, okay? Who cares about the draft picks that Kansas City, has? Most of the players that they're going to be drafting aren't good enough to start on their roster, and because they're making deep playoff runs with Patrick Mahomes, you're not going to get the best player picking at number 25 overall, 30 overall. It just doesn't work that way, Most of the best players are in the top 15, and obviously you can, draft, certain players later in the draft that could become steals, but the point I'm trying to make is draft picks in the NFL to a certain degree are overrated. Sure, you want to homegrow your players, but you need star-level, Pro Bowl-level players to win Super Bowls, proven commodities. And that's the route Kansas City is going in. And listen, Kansas City obviously has Patrick Mahomes. They've got Andy Reid. I say Patrick Mahomes is an A-plus quarterback right now. I say Andy Reid is an A at head coach. And I would consider the Kansas City Chiefs organization to be an A to an A-plus organization as well. Anytime you can get the quarterback, the head coach, and your organization to be an A to an A-plus, you're going to be in the Super Bowl conversation every single year. And that there's a reason why teams like, Green Bay, haven't won a Super Bowl in over a decade, because they don't make enough free agency moves. And it's really sickening to see an all-time great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, get all this support, and a guy like Aaron Rodgers, not get any support in Green Bay. I mean, Kansas City was asking, Patrick Mahomes, who they wanted to draft in this past, who he wanted them to draft in this past draft. And he said, give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They gave him Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Aaron Rodgers, he goes to the NFC Championship game. Clearly the team has holes. They draft a quarterback to replace him potentially for the future. And Aaron Rodgers has to elevate the roster from within rather than Green Bay actually going out and spending money to help him, And a couple of years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs were a good football team with Alex Smith on their roster. They were good. They were winning 10 to 11 to 12 games a year. But they realized there was a ceiling with Alex Smith, and they took a flyer on Patrick Mahomes, a guy that a lot of scouts were critical of at Texas Tech, but they developed him, they groomed him properly, they moved on from Alex Smith, and what do you know, Kansas City, they might be the favorites to win the Super Bowl for the next, 3 to 4 seasons, just because Patrick Mahomes is that great. Andy Reid's a great coach that, to me, has another at least half decade of good coaching left in him, and Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs organization, they're an A to an A-plus organization as well. Like I said, anytime you can get the quarterback, the head coach, and the front office right, you're in good business. Kansas City, they're definitely in the Super Bowl picture. And sure, they have good players, but a big reason why is because the organization doesn't hold on to coaches way too long. They draft well. They acquire talent through trades, and they're never satisfied with just being good enough. Let's be great. Let's not just be good enough. Let's be great. Let's be the favorites. Let's dominate. And I love the way Kansas City operates because they're an aggressive team, and they very well could be rewarded for it by potentially winning a Super Bowl within the next couple of years if they, can cash in the playoffs. But we'll see. But I do admire Kansas City, no doubt. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.